Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Shalom. Right, live today, specs on, executive chat. Hello, everyone. I weren't going to do a live today, especially on my own. Hello, John. But it's doing me brain in. I'm going to leave myself wide open to insults. Shalom, late, but I can't take them all. I cannot believe I would say 80%, maybe even more, of Spurs fans kicking off right into Levy through their groups or whatever, saying they shouldn't have sacked Ange. We want Levy out even more. What a shit decision, etc., etc., etc. Listen, I ain't a fan of Daniel Levy, not footballing wise anyway, but I just can't understand where this is coming from. And a lot of the comments I'm seeing, a lot are from people that were slagging him off, slagging Ange off through the season. And I think, as I said, I'm going to leave myself wide open, but I don't care. Levy and the board have made the correct decision, in my opinion. And if Ange would have stayed, he would have, and probably, no, he could have, and probably would have ruined the legacy of his cup win. So I'm just going to give my opinion out there of why it was the correct decision. So bear with me. At the end of the day, in my opinion, Spurs fans, Europa League was Ange Postecoglou's level, right? Going into another season, we would have struggled. And if you're going to be honest with yourselves, if we had gone into the Champions League under Ange Postecoglou's tactics, we would have got embarrassed because his tactics are suicidal. And we ain't going to be playing postmen from wherever we're from. We're playing proper good teams, PSG, Real Madrid, and the like. With those tactics, it would have been a nightmare. Ange, thanks for the cup, but you got to go mush. People saying about the injuries, okay? If you've got injuries and you're having to play kids and lesser quality players, you have to adapt your system. And he didn't, right? Anyway, at any level, if you've got a load of injuries, you've got to play a different system. And he just didn't. For example, when we had to play Davis and Gray at centre half, he still played with the high line. That's tactically inept. And to be frank with you, madness, absolute madness. A good manager will adapt his system on what players he has at his disposal, not just say, this is my way, and then carry on. Right, another argument. Oh, he did adapt his system. He did adapt his system playing deeper at times. Again, let's be honest with yourselves. We play deeper in certain games because the opposition forced us to, because they were better than us. Even in the Europa Cup final, whispers coming out, leaks coming out saying that they didn't go there purposefully to sit deep. They believed that they could attack Man United. But let's be honest, Man United was all over us for most of that game. So we didn't choose to sit deep. Manchester United forced us to go deep. So in my opinion, he was too stubborn and at times arrogant. I've said it for ages. Even in his first 10 games, and people that know me and people that watch my videos will see that I didn't get carried away in those first 2 games. Yeah, I enjoyed the football, but I could see the chances that other teams were squandering against us, and they were blatant chances as well, that on another day we would have lost those games. So there was gaps and things, but people get carried away with emotion. It's a bit like this. They're getting carried away with a cup win. They were getting carried away with the emotion in those first 10 games. And if you sit down, you're a proper football man and see it, you could still see you're getting a bit lucky there. Another argument is, and I did actually think this myself, but I changed my mind. People are also saying, give him 10 to 15 games into the season. Okay. If they'd have done that and we were shit, then what? Then what? Get another manager in, another manager that won't have a pre-season, hasn't been able to get his own players in that he needs. So another season ends up being a complete waste of time because the manager has to get by, which really would be a team that's not his. Wouldn't have any chance to get his own ideas across. Now we've made the decision. The board have made their decision. You can get a manager in, get his own ideas across, hopefully get a few of his own players in, get the team and squad to learn to his tactics and style of play. I've said this for ages, and so's other people what's come on here. We've said it for like 18 months now. Would an average Premier League manager get a better tune out of this squad? The answer is yes, and I will stick with that. And if it is Thomas Frank, I still believe that Thomas Frank will get a better tune out of these players. Yeah, they need some more players. And as we are in the Champions League this season, we need someone in more stability. The back four, for example, even if Romero leaves, because he was missing a large part of last season, there is no way that we should have let in the amount of goals that we let in last season. And under Thomas Frank, if it is to be Thomas Frank, there's no way, in my opinion, that we will concede that many goals. Speaking of Thomas Frank, just briefly there, no team, even the so-called big teams, do not like to go to Brentford. So you've got to ask yourself why. It's an hard place to go. It is, isn't it? They've beaten Spurs, they've beaten Arsenal, other teams there. When you go to Brentford, you know you're not going to get an easy game. Set pieces is another thing that Frank likes to work on defensively and offensively. There's something we definitely need to sort out. Vicario in particular is weak on crosses, is weak on corners. And offensively, how many times do we get excited when we got a free kick outside the opposition's box? For people that are around the same age as me, in the past when we had people like Hoddle, Gather, Sheringham, Ginola, we half expected a goal. Now you've got Madders or Porro, which can hit a free kick, but you don't get off your seat thinking, oh, we're going to score here, do you? But Frank likes to work on that. With this team, all it needs is a few quality additions and a manager who can get the team well organised and drilled to be a solid unit with an offensive cutting edge who don't rely on only one way of scoring. Now, under Ange, again, you've got to keep being honest with yourself before you start slagging me off on here, Spurs fans. Down the flanks, cross it in low, it's good, but not all the time. And we did get found out. So when we get found out, what do? We ended up passing it back, not knowing what to do. And then we was it on the break with our fullbacks out of position and often left with two centre-backs on the halfway line. This isn't me being anti-Ange. Not being anti-Ange. I like the bloke and I'm always grateful. That this is just me explaining why, in my opinion, they made the right decision. Right? I'm grateful for the cup win. I'm also grateful for the way that we did play before teams sussed us out because it was great to watch. But I'm afraid at this level, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. We were more often than not more open than the prostitute's legs, and it became embarrassing. When this happened, the fans were shouting, for example, especially to Porro, who got a lot of stick, and I love Porro. What was he doing? That goal was conceded down his side. He was up the pitch. He was up the pitch. They were following instructions from Ange Postecoglou. How many times was the diagonal ball played into our areas of the fullbacks? And there's so much space there. You know what I mean? I'll see that, John. Yeah. I'll come to your comments in a minute, Big John. How many times was the diagonal ball played into our fullback areas? And it seemed to be a lot of Porros. Because the fullback had pushed right up. It ain't rocket science. How often do teams march through our non-existent midfield? The middle of the park, the space left in the middle of the park was absolutely mental because they'd all pushed up. Often only two centre-backs left to defend a counter-attack, leaving 3-4 attacking players against our two centre-backs. This is tactically inept from Big Ange. I'm sorry. And if he manages to get a job at this level again, he'll get found out again. I think, though, that he'll go to another league where he can use his own tactics, etc., etc. And for those that are having a go at Levy, and I've seen some mental things today, I see on one of the groups today, they've actually written a letter to Daniel Levy and the board, slagging him off, saying we've got to get you out. Listen, I'm not a brilliant fan of Daniel Levy. I'm glad for what he's done for the club. Footballing wise, not so much. But it's not just Daniel Levy's decision. You've got shareholders, you've got Shalom Dan, you've got shareholders, you've got people on the board. And in my opinion, for once, they've made the correct decision, in my opinion. And as the statement said, They didn't let emotions cloud their judgment. And I think that many fans out there have let this cup win cloud their judgment. That's just what I think, you know. What if Ange Postecoglou would have stayed then and started poorly? The legacy of the cup win would have been gone. And because I like him for winning the cup, I wouldn't have wanted to be seen, to be honest with you. You know, win the cup and then start 10 to 15 games at the bottom of the league. It's gone, isn't it? All the fans that are saying that he wants to be in, they'll want him out. And I wish the world about him for the future. Right, whether it's Thomas Frank or not, we've got to get behind him. The foundations are there. I hope the board backs him. I really do. And if they do back him, I honestly believe we'll get back around the top four again. But what Spurs fans have also got to get in their head is there's no player, no chairman, no man, no woman that is bigger than the club. No. Johnny, what are you saying there, Bush? Let's have a look what you put on here. I was worried about the Champions League with Ange, but now I'm worried more without him. Let's just say then, yeah? Let's just say, Big John, that it is Thomas Frank. I 100% categorically believe with that back four, even if Romero goes, right, Tam, even if he goes, you will not let in those goals. 1,000,000%, John. And if you're honest, with that defence and goalkeeper, you shouldn't have let in that many goals, as I've said. I'm with you in your opinion, Luke. Yeah, there's not many of us, though. There's not many of us, Dan. There's not many of us, mate. People need to think. Yeah, that's exactly it. You've hit the nail on the head there. You've got to think with your heads, not your hearts. The only thing I will say is they should have got someone in already. I think John said that to me earlier. They should have made the decision and had somebody already in there. They should have made the decision before. Do you know what I mean? Yes, Lee. Yeah. Yeah, I think there'll be people jumping on there lately having a go at me and all that, but I just can't see where they can possibly have an argument. I'd love someone to come up here and say, well, someone said to me earlier, yeah, but we didn't get relegated, didn't we? We was in no chance of getting relegated. So what are you moaning at? And knocks the league on the head to go for the cup. And if you believe that, then you'll believe anything. No one's going to knock you on the head. And saying that, I think, was probably detrimental to and staying himself by him saying that, even though I don't believe it was true, because it was in the statement, wasn't it? At the end of the day, the chairman wants the dough. The board want the dough. So finishing 17th and winning the cup, he would have rather finished more, the board would, because of the money. If he'd have finished 10th, I think he would have, I think he would have stayed. Yeah, I am. Yeah, John, I'm totally with you. I like the man. I do like the man. That's funny. We would have been back. Lee, you know that, didn't you? Can you imagine? Just say we get we in the Champions League. I don't know who we could play now, but just say we played against. We got to play them in the Super Cup, right? Just imagine if we played PSG under Ange Postecoglou's tactics after what they've done against Inter Milan. It would have been embarrassing, man. Look back at our past 2 seasons. Most of the fan base were calling for his head because of the way we were getting beaten by Nini. Dan, people have got short memories. And that's why I've done this video, because I'm absolutely shocked at. I just can't believe how many Spurs fans are going mental. I can't understand it. What do you think about Frank then coming in? I know Harry said to me just now he doesn't want Thomas Frank to come in, but when you look, I've had a bit of a deeper look in, an insight into the way he plays, etc. I think he'll be all right. And the thing I like about him is he adjusts accordingly to the opposition. Whereas Ange, this is another thing of Ange, he didn't care who we were playing. It's his way, or that's it. But yeah, I do get you there, John. I do get you there, mate. What did worry me this morning was I see a report coming in this morning saying that Spurs are yet to open talks with Thomas Frank, but they've also sounded out that De Zerbi, the one that used to be at Brighton, he would have been a good manager. But what worries me is why haven't they already got it in place, or at least have talks with whoever? I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? The transfer window's open, isn't it? We need to get going. Do you know what I mean? Where do you think that? Where do you think he'll go, John? Celtic, Big Ange. But yeah, I'm going to be interested to see later on after this when people do start commenting in what their views are on it, because I think I've put a good case forward actually for Ange not been able to stay, and it's just a shame. If he would have tweaked a little bit more, if he'd have tweaked a bit more, then he would have been all right. Yeah, Harry's there. He don't like Thomas Frank. You think he'll go to Europe? Yeah, he'll probably want to choose himself. There was rumours about him going to Celtic, weren't there, John? If he'd have just, the thing is, John, I know you're an Ange in, and I do respect you for that. I'm not going to be like the others and start going mental. But if he'd have just adjusted just a little bit and tweaked things a little bit, I think he'd be a very good manager. If it's Frank, I'm happy, and we'll back the manager. At the end of the day, it's not the incoming manager's fault. No, it's not. We can't just regard losing 22. No, you can't, Dan. So you're with me, aren't you? You agree? That's good, man. Yeah. I can't either, mate, to be honest. I really can't. Like you said, I think it was last night that we were just lucky that the other teams that were finishing the bottom three were crap. But if you look at it, even Ange, I'm just waiting to see if there's an Ange. Yeah, we got lucky there, Lou. Yeah, Lee. Yeah. But I want to sort of. Who's this one? We are fucked. We need a new manager, new players that match. Yeah, we do. Yeah, 100%. I just hope he gets and fuck Frank. That's the thing, isn't it? I do feel sorry for whoever the manager is because he's going to get hammered. Yeah, he was, Dan. Whether you like Frank, if it is Frank, whether you like him or not, you've got to give him a chance. You haven't really got any choice. Just say it could be worse. It could be a lot worse for Spurs fans, and it could be John's mate, the waistcoat warrior, Gareth Southgate. And if that happens, I will start crying. I'll be honest with you. I will start crying. Yeah, John. Yeah, John, 100%. He just needed to adjust a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because I can understand it to a certain degree. If you're playing, this is my tactics, this is it, blah, 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 blah. Right? But especially if you've got injuries, do you know what I mean? Oh, if you've got injuries, it's like when I took over that team, Saturday team a couple of years ago, and I had my formation, and I could play my form. I mean, this is at kids level. How will tell you? I played a formation, right, and we was kicking ass. Do you know what I mean? Then I went to be assistant manager at a Sunday team, and I did want to implement that formation, but the players wasn't there, so I couldn't do it. So I had to adjust. Yeah, I had the ump. Of course, I had the ump. I had the ump because I wanted to play more formation because it worked. That is what I'm saying. At any level of football, you have to play with the cards what you're dealt with. God, imagine that, Lee. Eh? Could you imagine that? Oh dear, oh dear. What's this one here? Everyone has an opinion, but people shouldn't jump on the new manager. Hello, Ed, my old son. 14 points in 2025. No, they 100% gets to leave a hero. Yes, exactly. Frank is one of the worst for time wasting. They're at it for minute one. I can't stand it. I don't really know about that. I mean, there's so many teams do it now, Ed, don't they? I just want to see. See, I think this is an opportunity for Spurs, whoever it is, to come in because on paper, and I know it ain't the same, but on paper, we've got a good team. We've got a good 11, 12, 13 players. And as I keep saying, an half-decent manager will get a better tune out of those. It's just a shame, you know? It's just a shame that Ange had it in his head and just wouldn't adjust. Like I said to Johnny, wouldn't adjust. If he'd adjusted a little bit, played a bit deeper. If you know you haven't got the pace of Mickey van der Ven because he's out, surely you'll go 10, 15 yards deeper. But he didn't. And as I said earlier, Ed, before you jumped on, people's argument was he did adjust. He played deeper. He didn't. He didn't adjust. We were forced deeper. Southgate again, ole, ole. Don't, John, don't jinx it. I'm sitting here saying, whoever the new manager is, you've got to back him. mate. And Ed just said about time wasting. God, imagine if Southgate turns over, we'll all be asleep by the 10th minute. Bloody hell. Yeah, whoever needs it. Yeah, they are, Dan. But what if it was Southgate, Dan? What was it? Go on, Dan. What if it was Southgate? God, blimey. Because I was thinking, when he mentioned that on the wind up last night, I'll put John there. Bloody hell. I nearly had a heart attack. No compensation. I really hate Frank, but if he does well for us in player play, if it is Frank, I'm going to put me neck on the line here. He will be okay. I don't know if he'll get us into the Champions League because that's the only worrying for it. But he does adjust to whatever team he's playing. He's got various systems that he likes to employ. Ed will just have to ignore his the thing. Time wasting. If the press didn't work, to be fair, Ed, I used to watch. Obviously, we used to watch Spurs, and I used to watch their press. And I think I said it in one of the games on one of my lives. There, I watched it, and it was either just Solanke pressing on his own. That's what did I say? I said their press was reactive and not proactive. That's what I said, and that's quite a technical term for me. If you're going to do a press, you've all got to press together. You can't just press one because I've seen like Solanke press or Sun press and looking behind as if to say the others ain't. And that's another thing. I don't know if you're with me on this, boys. I don't want a manager. And Harry said it to me the other day. Didn't you, Harry? You said you'd rather play for a manager that's shouting at you or trying to give you encouragement or both on the sideline, not just stand there with your arms folded. It's coming home. Oh, I'll tell you why he'd come, John. Peas, as the youngsters call it. Peas. It's all about money and not being disrespectful for Brentford. If you're a Brentford manager and you get offered by Spurs, you're coming in. You ain't going to get a big time manager because other managers ain't stupid. They're going to see the other managers what have come and just can't work, can they, under Levy? Don't understand why people. Yeah, I don't understand it. But Danny, you haven't answered my question. What would you hate him if it was Southgate? Yeah, it does. Yeah, the whole team press. Well, just don't bother pressing. There's no point. If one of you presses, it's just a waste of time. That's why Solanke's always absolutely running himself into the ground because absolutely shattered. I love Blanky for his work rate. I really do. But we were saying on the thing the other day that he probably does too much, and because of the tactics. Got to get behind the team, yeah. Lee, I'll ask you the same question. Will you get behind Southgate? Flange stands on the sidelines and hardly gives any encouragement. That's been 100%, 100%, Dan. Well, Harry, Harry said it to me yesterday. You know, it's like when I was standing on the touchline with Harry's team, I'm always shouting encouragement to them, even if they were doing things like Harry will tell you. I used to stand there because one of my pet hates was, and this is a bit like Spurs actually, with the team that Harry was playing for. I used to always say to him, no matter how organised the team is, you've got to switch play. Even if you switch it from left to right, right to left, because an organised team, you've got to make them, you know what I mean? If they've got a low block, you've got to make them shift about. And even when some of Harry's mates and Harry himself tried to do it and it didn't come off, I was shouting encouragement, don't worry, it'll work next time. That's what I asked you to do. So I knew they were trying to do what I asked them to do. You got none of that off Ange. And that's Premier League level. Yeah, you have got a hunt in the pack. Look at all the good. Look at Man City in their prime. They'd lose the ball, get it back within 10 seconds because there was 5 of them on there. Spurs press in 1s and 2s. It's not enough. What's this one? Go on, Dan. Southgate can get away with it at international, but not the yeah. No, you're right there. Poch was great at that. I think, yeah, Poch brought the press to us, didn't he? Southgate can get away with it at international level and all because international watching England's boring. So they was asleep anyway, Dan. So that's how he got probably missed half the game. I wouldn't even watch Spurs if Shitgate come in. Yeah, but you would, Harry, because that's what I'd probably say. But you would. When George Graham came, I'm like, I ain't watching Spurs. You end up watching them. It's in your blood, isn't it? Whoever gets the job. Yeah. Ed, did you have anyone in mind who you wanted to take over, or you just going with the flow? Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a clue who or what I didn't, because there's not many out there, is there? We're a bit of a poison chalice. haven't we? Because, like I said, other managers out there are going to look at the fact that we've had Mourinho, Conte, Poch. They ain't got backed. They did back to a degree, monetary wise, Ange, but not enough. Because that's another problem, and I'm hoping that changes. I'm hoping that instead of giving him £100 million to spend on and say there's 100 million quid, you've got to go and get 6 players with that. You've got to give him 150, 200 million to say go and get 3 world class players. I think that is the thin line again. What we got to do. Yeah, that's been rumoured as well, John, today. Would he want to come? You'd love that, wouldn't you, John? Oh, Spanish. But I think that is the thin line. We were saying last night, it's such a thin line. If Ange hadn't won the cup, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That's another thin line, though. I don't want to mention them down the road, but they went out and bought Declan Rice, didn't they, for 100 million. We wouldn't go and do that. We need to go and get 3 players, experience, not just in terms of age, 3 players that have probably been there, done it, give them 300 grand a week and see how it goes from there. Where's Xavi now, John? Where's that Xavi now? Back the man. Well, yeah. I won't say even if it's Southgate because I don't want to mention Southgate anymore because we might jinx it. I would not want him. But it's looking like Thomas Frank, in it, boys. You know what I mean? It is looking like Thomas Frank. And we just got to get behind him. He's probably excited. He took the bees up from the other division. He's done well. They're an established Premier League town now. Oh, that's a blast. Where's he now then? Roberto Mancini. Where's he now? He didn't get a fair crack, did he? I like Glasner. I do like Glasner as well. Yeah. When he first went to Palace, they were shit, weren't they? But they stuck with him, and they're a good team now. And he might leave, even though he said that he wants to stay at Palace. But surely he's going to get pissed off when he keeps losing his best players. Roberto Mancini, I don't even know where he is anymore. Xavi, I don't know where he is. Yeah, he would be great for young players. Maybe they'll pull a rabbit out of the hat, but I don't think it really matters. Is he available then, is he? Is he available? Yeah. You'll have to get your Spanish flag out, Big John. Wouldn't you? You'd like that, man. Yeah. It's going to be very interesting, Spurs. And I had to just come on here, and once this goes on a bit more viral, I know I'm going to get slagged off. But as I said, I'm not anti-Ange. I just thought I've got to just put it across there why he was gone. Do you know what I mean? It's just tactics, isn't it? And injuries. I've supported Spurs for what, 40? God blimey, 46 years now. I've never seen an injury crisis like it. So that says to me it's got to be something to do with the training. Yeah. Yeah, some of the comments there, they're bad. They are, mate. Need a number 6? Yeah, we do. Bentancur's been really good, but if you're fighting on 4 fronts next season, you can't expect Bentancur to do it yourself. Danny's mate Bissouma looks like he'll be going. I see other journos all over Twitter and all that coming out of the players, Levy's face and a players' revolt. I just think that's shit journalism, to be honest. I think they're just trying to stir the shit. Listen, we've all watched it. How many times have you seen James Maddison come off looking so pissed off? Did you see Son coming off? So pissed off. It's all right to come out now and say it because the players themselves have probably been a bit blinded by the cup win because they're obviously happy. But I will tell you now, and I think me and Danny agree on this, James Maddison will probably be the happiest man at White Hart Lane that he's gone, even though he'd never admit it. Because he was like the scapegoat, wasn't he, all the time? And he was a victim of the system. We haven't seen the best of James Maddison yet, but he wasn't used in the correct way. Yeah, another 6. That Palhinha might be leaving, Bayern, Lee. But I want that Edison. Shame because I love that bastard. Yeah. Who's that geezer you mentioned last night, to you, John? This Flick. I don't know much about him. I don't know if anyone else does on here. And where's he now? I don't know much about him at all. Oh, what's this? Sorry, I had to miss that. Oh, How did he get on the Saudi manager? Because that's not an easy job to do, is it, Ed? When Mancini was at Man City, I didn't think he was given a fair crack anyway. I think he was. They were just waiting to sack him, weren't they? Do you know what I mean? But I'm seeing all over social media many Spurs fans saying you win a cup and you get the sack. So what do you want? I mean, even that Wally, did he? Raymond Vega come out last night and was going absolutely mental. What do you want? Sherwood come out and done it. What do you want? You know, you've won a cup. The only what's the word? Realistic comment I saw was on Redknapp when Harry Redknapp was on Talk Sport last night. I don't watch Talk Sport, but I'll just see a clip up there and I listened to Harry Redknapp and he said as soon as there was a silence after the cup win for 2 weeks, he knew that he was gone. Yeah. Was Bayern man won loads. I'll have to dig into that then, John. But I think, don't you all agree that whoever it is, normally because what it is, when you go into a job, any job, it's usually because things have gone peak tong, blah blah blah. The team's shit. These are massive blah. If any of us was offered the job, right, you'd go in there thinking this squad's all right. I don't think it's a really hard job to get us back up there. That's it. And Flick is Barcelona manager. He's won cups in every job. Yeah. So it wouldn't put me past me, Ed. Levy should be looking at these because he's probably thinking I ain't got to pay compensation. Eh? Yeah. Why would you enjoy playing under Ange when you're getting bummed every week? Lee, 100%. I've said this. If you're a defender for Tottenham Hotspur under Big Ange, you must dread going out onto that pitch. Because imagine being a right back, right? You're told what to do, so you're flying up the wing. They ping that diagonal ball that I was on about into like acres of space where you can put 2 buses. A goal comes from it. Even though you've done what you've told, in your mind, you're going to think, fuck's sake, that's come down from my side. In you, it's just human nature. So you can't agree with the tactics. And I don't know if anyone would have the bottle to question Anne's tactics because he had a bit of a temper, didn't he? It's such a shame. I'm hoping though that he learns from this. I'm really hoping he learns from this and gets another job. Maybe we'll go at Brentford if we get Frank. Yeah, did you see that, Lee? I think it was on Sky. He was going off his nut. Absolutely off his nut. And I was seeing that all over Twitter as well. Legend Ramon Vacant. Mate, he was in our worst team of the season the other day, so no. I'll probably leave it at that for the while, lads. Thanks for coming on. I just thought I'd put this out there and I'll keep an eye on the. It's a silly time to do it, really, but it was just doing me braining. I just had to get it out there. If I get slated, I get slated. But I'd like to have, not an argument like the other ones, I'd like to have a debate with someone that is very much Ange in, and I'd like to have a little bit of a debate. And, you know, if I'm wrong about certain things, I'll hold my hand up. But I can't see that I'm wrong. So anyone's welcome to come up here and have a debate with me without slagging me off and being rude like many others are. So I'm not interested in that. Just have a proper debate and you tell me why you think Ange should be in. No Arsenal fans here. They could tell, yeah, man. I couldn't believe that when he come on me, mate, the other day. You'd army. Right then, lads, we'll keep it short. Thanks for coming on. And I'll give you all feedback. So I talk to most of you on here. I'll give you feedback. Especially if I'm getting hammered. I might have to hide for a while, put my tin hat on. Well, I hope you all have a good weekend and keep the faith. Let's watch this space. Up the Spurs.